In artificial intelligence, the ultimate quest is for machines that think like humans. One man recognized that the only way to truly think outside the box is to do away with the boxes themselves. By abandoning the rigid idea of true or false, Lotfi Zadeh redefined how we think about logic. He faced staunch opposition along the way, but ultimately became the father of fuzzy logic. Countless intelligent products can process the same kind of imperfect information we use to navigate an ambiguous world. They do it by using fuzzy logic, a deceptively simple yet powerful idea that was the brainchild of one radical thinker.
My aspirations were not to become rich and powerful, but to be driven by a quest for contributing to society, improvement of society.
Lotfi Zadeh learned to overcome obstacles early, when, after completing 3 years of elementary school in the Soviet Union, his family moved to Iran.
By mistake, I was admitted into 8th grade, from 3rd grade to 8th grade.
Somehow Zadeh managed and went on to study electrical engineering, graduating from the University of Tehran in 1942.
I could have stayed in Iran, I had a very good life, but it would be the life of a well-to-do person with nothing serious to do.
When Zadeh was offered a chance to be a graduate student at MIT, he took it. When he got to the States, he looked up an old family friend.
He came to visit me in New York because he was very lonely when he came from Iran. And as I opened the door, he took off his hat. And I said, "Ah!" because he had no hair at all.
3 years later, Zadeh had a new wife and a master's degree from MIT. He went on to Columbia for his PhD, where he would remain for 17 years. He then moved to Berkeley and was named chair of the Electrical Engineering Department in 1963. While attending a mathematicians' conference, a simple idea occurred to Zadeh about the nature of sets, groups of objects or numbers considered entities unto themselves.
If you look at the real world, you find that most classes, the class of beautiful women, the class of large countries, the class of small apples are too precise. You have to generalize that and introduce a class whose boundaries are unsharp.
With the publication of his first paper on the topic in 1965, fuzzy logic was born. Zadeh reasoned that people don't require precise numerical input to make decisions, so why should computers? What if systems could be programmed to accept noisy, imprecise input? Initially, the theory was met with skepticism and even hostility. Its biggest problem was perhaps its name.
I knew that fuzzy is not a good word. I knew it very well. But I did it, and I never regretted my choice to this date.
Even decades later, in certain arenas, fuzzy remains a bad word.
The image is that of some sort of a logic that is not precise, that is muddy. But in fact, fuzzy logic is precise. It's a precise logic of imprecision.
By the early 70s, the theory began to gain acceptance, and fuzzy logic products started to pop up everywhere, particularly in Japan. It was integrated into everything from civil engineering machines to household appliances. Today, most consumer products use some form of fuzzy logic.
This camera, this is probably uses fuzzy logic, you see.
Fuzzy logic not only makes better machines, it touches on how we understand language and culture.
In fuzzy logic, everything is or is allowed to be a matter of degree. So this is a big thing.
Zadeh has made a career out of bucking convention and faced opposition every step of the way. But today, he can look back with pride and perhaps a bit of vindication,
Of course, I am not immune to making wrong decisions, wrong predictions, but for the most part, I can sort of pat myself in the back and I say, yes, that I was right.
The 2009 Benjamin Franklin Medal in Electrical Engineering is presented to Lotfi Zadeh for his invention and development of the field of fuzzy logic, a mathematical system that captures aspects of the ambiguity of human language and thought, which has solved problems in areas such as artificial intelligence and the automated control of machines.